Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. The new Ishizu cards are here, and Adamancipator is the only deck that really uses them effectively. So let's quickly talk about them. Now obviously, Block Dragon is still not banned, and so is Grass. They're still playable at multiple copies. So obviously, with other cards that potentially mill, as well as our Earths, as well as our Shufflers, as well as our just decent cards in general, yeah, you can kind of see why we would pair these together. So I'm going to quickly do the card by card for this list and to explain some of the thought processes behind this. So this is basically Punk, Ishizu, Adamancipator, or just Earths. That's what I like to call it, Earths, Rocks, etc. But yeah, this ends on some very interesting boards that... Okay, they're not all that interesting, but they're pretty insane. So let's quickly do the card by card, starting with the Adamancipator, 3 Seeker, 3 Searcher, double Analyzer, and that's it. As for the extra, we're also running the two good Adamancipators. That's all the Adamancipators. For the rest, we are also running, obviously, all of the Ishizus that we can. We maxed out on them. The double Keldo, triple Mudora for the Shufflers, double Kelbeck, and double Agido for the Millers. Pretty nice. Next up, we have the Punk engine as well. We have the double Xiaomin because we can also get it off of emergency teleport. So we're playing 2 of that as well. We're playing 1 Foxy Tune and 1 Deer Note. These are okay. They're not the best, even normal summons, but they're decent, and that's why we're running them, because a single E-Telly or a single Xiaomin can get you into the Chaos Ruler, which is very good in this list. Next up, we have ourselves just the rest of the rocks that we are playing. We are playing the Hidden Gem of the Seafront. This card, I don't know how to say its name, but this card is absolutely crazy. It just gives you an extra normal for your entire deck, which is fantastic. Yeah, you discard it, an extra normal for an earth or a water during the main phase of this turn, in addition to your normal summon reset. This means that in particularly dead hands, like for example, having like 2 Seekers or something like that, you can actually potentially play the game. Like as long as you have like a normal summon, a level 4 or something along those lines, you can go like Seeker, normal summon another thing, and go off from there, which doesn't rely on having to actually reveal something off of something like Seeker. Absolutely crazy card, so we're maxing out on that one. On top of that, you can banish it, or you can special summon it from the graveyard if you control a water or earth, and then banish it when it leaves the field. Next up, we have ourselves the 1 Gigantes. Honestly, you could play 2 of this. This card is pretty good, but it's specifically good with like Xeno Guitar. I am playing Herald of Orange Light, which you could probably cut this and run like the triple Xeno Guitar, second Revival Golem, second Gigantes. But we'll talk about that in a second. It's still pretty nice. We're obviously playing triple Kawaki Myri Guardian and triple Supplier. These cards are crazy. The 1 Revival Golem, this card comes up occasionally. It's not too necessary, and it is kind of a dead card. But it is nice if you mill it, in particular, to just like get a free special. However, it is a mandatory effect, so you can't like choose to not activate it under like Maxi or something like that. We also have Tackle Crusader. Tackle Crusader is a really decent card. Being able to like send it off of something like Abyss Dweller in order to then bounce a card or flip something face down is also pretty nice. Then we of course have the double Xeno Guitar. Xeno Guitar is really crazy. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can cycle back a card to your hand from the grave, or you can, yeah, basically. So you add back a card from your hand to the grave and then stack one of your cards from the hand onto the top of the deck, which is very good in Adamancipator. Also, if it's banished, you get to send a rock to the graveyard, which is crazy. Meaning, if you have like a Xeno Guitar, send it to the graveyard, special summon with Gigantes, you can then send Block Dragon to get that into rotation again. So yeah, this card's really strong. Then we also have 1 Awakening of the Possessed Nefarious Seer Archfiend, which is a crazy name. And this card is really silly. You can special summon this from hand or deck by sending a face-up Spellcaster and a face-up Earth level 4 or lower, face-up level 4 or lower Earth monster you control to the graveyard. So normally what you would do is you would, if you mill out your opponent, or like mill some cards from your opponent with like the Agido or the Kelbeck, what you can do is you can go into Ausa. Ausa can then special summon back one of the Earths, most notably Maxi, and then you can special summon this from deck, and then it on summon specials a level 4 or lower from the grave, so you can special summon it back at a 4 to go into a 9, or you can special summon back a 3 in order to go into an 8. Very, very solid card, and fixes a lot of hands as well. So there you go. Then we have, of course, the 1 Block Dragon. As for the rest of the cards, we are running triple Herald of Orange-Light because all of these happen to be fairies, and it's very nice to just like send them to the graveyard to activate their effects or get them into rotation. We have the triple Maxi, we have the triple Ash Blossom, 1 Ghost Ogre, because you can also get it off of Emergency Teleport if you already have yourselves the Xiamen, and it's in a light for the Chaos Ruler, which is pretty nice. We then, of course, have ourselves the 1 Nibiru as well, because in case we get Nibiru'd, we can like cross it out. Plus, I just like having it as another rock target, as well as another earth, and just stuff like that. As for the spells, we are running 1 Foolish Burial, double Grass, 1 Miracle Rupture, 1 Smoke Grenade of the Thief, and 1 KS. We'll talk about those in a second. The double Emergency Teleport, double Called By, and the 1 Crossout. For the extra, the 1 Adamancipator, Risen Raptite, and the 1 Dragite. The 1 Chaos Ruler. This card is absolutely crazy, and just being able to mill 5 is enough oftentimes. We have the 1 Power Tool, Braver Dragon. This card on summon equips up to 3 equip spells from deck or grave, notably deck or grave. But if you draw it in hand, that's also fine. And that's basically it. You can also send an equip spell you control to the grave to negate an effect. This is a quick effect, so that's nice. You can also change battle positions with it. But importantly, with Smoke Grenade and KS, you equip both of these, and then this one will negate the effects of the Smoke Grenade, popping it, and then triggering the Smoke Grenade to rip a card out of the hand. This is why we're playing this. It's absolutely crazy. We can also summon it through multiple ways. There are like a bunch of different ways to kind of summon it. It does require the punk or like the punk side sometimes, or you can do like the Adamancipator with the Analyzer with the Possessed, the way it can Possessed. Then we have 2 10s, Baron and Chixiao. We make both of these oftentimes, and that is enough sometimes to just deal with opponents' boards. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, just these two are just insane cards. We have Abyss Dweller to deal with the Ishizu stuff, so there you go. We have the Gallant Granite. We have Zombie Vampire, because oftentimes we're ending on like this and and the Foxy Tune, which we bring back off of Deer Note in order to go into the Zombie Vampire, which is very nice because then we mill more cards and we get to special summon and we get to see what our opponent's playing and potentially send like a Maxi to the graveyard, which can then also be used with the Ausa trick. So that's pretty cool. We have the 1 IP Masquerade with the 1 Ausa, the 1 Nightmare Unicorn. I'm also playing Avermax. This could be anything. I do like Avermax. I think in Best of Ones is really strong. The IP, or the Apollosa, and the Access Code. So that's the deck. Let's hop into the duels and show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going second, and hey, look at that! We drew grass and Smoke Grenade, but mostly grass. My opponent is going to Foolish Burial Goods for... they're on Witchcrafter. There is legitimately like one deck that plays this, and it's Witchcrafter. So, yeah, we're playing against that. Anyway, they're going to go for the Magician's Right Hand, which negates a spell effect, so there's that. However, notably, it's only the first spell effect. So do keep that in mind. Anyway, they're going to end their turn there and activate their scroll. Not activating Shmieta, which is kind of odd, but okay. We draw into the Kawakumaru Guardian. It doesn't really matter. We just have to go for the Seeker here. We're going to go for the Seeker here. And then out comes Cockroach. Great. Fun. Well, let's see what we can do. So, after the effect resolves, it is going to be negated and destroyed by the Magician's Right Hand. Now, notably, the effect is negated. Therefore, all of this text is negated. Doesn't work. Anyway, my opponent is going to negate the Seeker activation instead of, waiting for a potential other activation, like, for example, the, well, a myriad of other things. So, interesting. I do think that this is honestly the right call, because if I do happen to reveal a Kawakumaru Guardian, you now can no longer play the game. So I do think it's right, but I did have grass, and now we're going to mill a whole bunch of cards. So we mill the Xenoguitar, which is going to stack the deck with the Kawakumaru Guardian, as well as the Revival Golem is now going to special summon itself. So there's that. However, notably, this is under Max C. But that's not going to stop us, because I know how Witchcrafter plays, and in all honesty, it's not going to do much. So we're going to reveal a whole bunch of cards, and Supplier is fantastic. So we're going to summon out the Supplier. Oh, we're not going to summon out anything because I misclicked and didn't actually special summon. I distinctly remember I accidentally hit the wrong button, and it didn't special. So I would have specialed the Supplier, but it doesn't matter. We're going to just go for the Block Dragon, because of course we milled it. Because grass is a card. We're going to try and flip down the Witchcrafter Vere, and of course they drew the Aruru. Aruru now gets to spin back our monster. Well, that's okay. Do you want to know why it's okay? Because Block Dragon is now going to allow us to just get infinite advantage, and it's during the damage step, so even if they had the Ash Blossom, it wouldn't have done anything. Anyway, we're now going to go for the Analyzer, activate the Analyzer effect. They don't have anything, fantastic. There's another Supplier, you love to see it, and a second one, and Gigantes, sure. Anyway, out comes the Supplier, we're going to grab up the third Guardian, then we're going to go for the Researcher. At this point, I actually think that I could mill them out. I haven't activated the effects of the, of Agito or the Kelbeck, so I could mill an additional 10 from their deck, depending on what I end up seeing. So that's kind of the point that we are going for here. So we're going to go and reveal the Agito. Fantastic. Just going to go for the Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler, activate the effect, and we're going to reveal a whole bunch more cards, and none of them are good. Okay, great, fantastic. Anyway, we're going to go for the Researcher, or sorry, the Seeker here. We're going to then go into the Changying, and then we're going to banish 3 in order to go for the Block Dragon. This will activate the Changying. We're going to banish ourselves the Shmieta as well as the Madame Beret, because for some reason they didn't activate the Shmieta. It's fine. Anyway, out comes the Ausa. Ausa is then going to activate its effect in order to grab up their Max C, which will then allow us to special summon from deck the Awakened of the Possessed. This allows us to bring back the Z Amen that is in the graveyard. This can then be used to go into Dragite, and we can now activate the effect of the Dragite to non-target shuffle away some of our opponent's monsters. We're going to reveal a whole bunch of cards. We only ended up revealing 2 rocks, so we're just going to shuffle those away. Then we're going to banish 3 more and go for another Block Dragon. They're pretty low on cards in the deck, but we kind of have to hit really well here. And they have the Ash. They saved the Ash for a really good time hitting the Zombie Vampire, so that's pretty nice. Not really anything I can do there, but we're going to banish 3 more and go for another Block Dragon activation in order to go into IP Masquerena, then activate the effect of our Chaos Ruler to bring itself back, and then once more we are going to go for a Block Dragon, basically banishing all that we can to go for a Baron. So basically what this leaves us on is my opponent has a million cards, but I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be playing something like, I don't know, Droplet or what have you, and even if they did, are they going to be able to kill me? Probably not. But we have the Changying, we have Baron, we have Chaos Ruler, and notably, IP Masquerena can actually deal with the Chaos Ruler, link off with the Chaos Ruler in order to go into Unicorn. This will both trigger the Changying as well as the Unicorn in the same chain, because the Chaos Ruler will be banished by its effect, triggering the Changying. So that means we have a way to chain block our own Changying or our Unicorn if we so choose. So that's pretty cool. And then we also have like the shufflers in the graveyard. So my opponent apparently didn't have enough milled into the grave, so they decided to Foolish Burial Goods, sure, dumping the creation. Then they're going to go for Pitore. They're going to activate the effect. I'm fine with that. Out comes the Unveiling. I can't really allow that to resolve without going into Unicorn here, so we're going to go for the Unicorn. They're going to bring out both Hanes that they are playing, and we are going to banish one of their spin one of their back row and banish some cards with the Sovereign. They're also going to, for some reason, chain to try and destroy the Sovereign, but okay, that's just not going to happen. So I'm going to banish the Pitore because it draws them a card, and we are also going to banish the Hane. Then they're going to activate a few more cards, and I was very low on time at this point, which is also very funny, but they didn't actually even force out my Baron, which is also hilarious. But yeah, away goes a bunch of their cards. So there you go. We draw Kelbeck for turn. Doesn't really matter. We're going to go and banish 3 in order to bring out the Block Dragon. And I do make a bit of a mistake here. Realistically, I should have normal summoned the Guardian first. Should have been the first thing that I did, and I didn't. That's dumb of me. So they're going to go and pop the Hane. Pop the Baron. I'm going to negate. They're going to activate the Patronus in order to shuffle back their Very so that they can actually get that into rotation, because apparently they're only playing the 1. And then they can go for, well, we negate their effect, but it stays protected due to By Street. Anyway, I accidentally activate the... I don't accidentally, but I activate the Baron effect to pop their monster, and I forgot about the Aruru in hand, so away goes my Changing, but I'm just going to make it again, because it's funny. Anyway, out comes the Access Code Talker. We're going to activate the Block Dragon effect, and we are going to use the Access Code Talker in order to boost himself up. We're going to activate the Access Code Talker. We're going to pop one of the one of the cards in the back row. Then we're going to go and special summon the Researcher, special summon the Gigantes, and then activate the Researcher. Out comes Supplier. Fantastic. We did kind of need that, just as... Tackle Crusader is even better. We're then going to Synchro off into the Changing, activate the effect of the Tackle Crusader so that we can walk over this monster. I don't know, because it's fun. And then attack for lethal. I was on like 2 seconds, I think, there. So, good game. Alright, and here we are, once again, drawing grass. Fantastic, you love to see it. Now I'm going to start with the Xiamen to bait out the Ash, and then I go a little bit too far because I was kind of on autopilot. Kind of forgot about the grass, I'm not going to lie, it rarely comes up. So I actually end up going for the Deer Note here, and then going for the Chaos Ruler. Realistically, I should have summoned the Deer Note and then activated Grass just to have more cards to mill. But alas, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, we're going to reveal a whole bunch of cards. I don't think any of them are things that we can add to hand, so they all get milled. And we do get to activate the Xenoguitar in order to stack our deck once again. So we're going to stack that, keep the Researcher in hand, and then mill a whole bunch of cards. Whole bunch of things activate here. Or actually, I think it's just the Xiamen. But we did notably mill the Block Dragon, because of course we did. Anyway, we are then going to Xyz into the Zombie Vampire. Zombie Vampire's effect is going to activate, and we are going to see that my opponent is on Salamangreat. We also get to special summon our Analyzer here, and they do have the Gazelle in hand. I'm not going to Maxi. There's no point in doing that because they're only going to go for one. And they are going to mill the Roar. We're going to activate the Analyzer here in order to special summon out nothing. Great, fantastic. Anyway, out comes the Researcher. We're going to reveal Kawaku Maru Guardian. Fantastic. So we're going to special summon out the Guardian and then just immediately sync it off for the Raptite. Raptite's effect is going to activate in order to summon Supplier, not bad. Activate the Supplier to grab up the Guardian, and then synchro off into the Changing. The reason I go for the Changing immediately is because, well, we already have the Block Dragon, so this triggers the Changing, this triggers the Xenoguitar in order to dump the Revival Golem and banish the Gazelle and the Roar. Revival Golem's effect is going to activate in order to special summon itself, and now we can go and link off into IP Mask Arena. Trigger the Block Dragon, grab up a Researcher. Yeah, my opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes. Yeah, Changing. Alright, and here we are once again going first, and look at that! Block Dragon! And Emergency Teleport. Sick! I'm going to activate this in the standby phase just to special summon out the Xiamen, and then we can activate the Foxy Tune, pitching the Block Dragon, and my opponent concedes. You know, when you see Block Dragon get sent to the graveyard, I think I would concede as well. Alright, so that's the deck, and in all honesty, I think the Ishizu cards are helpful, for sure, but honestly don't think that they're all that powerful as of right now. I think with the tier stuff, and specifically the Vernisylph as well, when that stuff eventually comes to Master Duel, I think the Ishizu stuff will be a lot more problematic. But as of right now, I don't really see them as an issue, not really even warranting a limitation. Like, these cards are good in, like, this deck specifically, and only this deck, but basically every other deck isn't very good that's using these. This deck is only good because of things like Grass and Block Dragon. The fact that we have Block Dragon is the reason why these cards are even good in this archetype. If we didn't have Block Dragon, you probably wouldn't even play these. In fact, you probably would play a 40 card variant, because the only reason to really fuel cards into the graveyard is for this guy. So, yeah, is it the Ishizu cards that are a problem, or is it Block Dragon? Now, granted, I don't like the Ishizu cards. Not in the slightest. I think that they're terribly designed and just not fun to deal with, especially Kelbeck. Fuck this card. But, to be fair, I don't think that they're problematic. I really don't think that they deserved a pre-hit, and I do think that they aren't actually the issue, just in general. Yeah. Until we get the Vernisylphs and the tier and all of that future stuff that actually makes things more problematic. But as of right now, I think that they are fine. Really, they are. So there you go. That's all that I have to say. This build is also absolutely insane. Just Adamancipator in general, getting access to this card, as well as additional mills with things like the Agitos and what have you, is just insanely valuable. Also, getting access to the Punk stuff with Deer Note to get them into the Chaos Ruler, while still having access to Block Dragon, it's just crazy. It's just stupid. It's just silly. It's just insane. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.